Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard brew. Today, coming at you with an Ajani Outland Chaperone build. Really, it's a United Battlefront build with, the token sort of core. Spicy include is a most helpful weaver here just to up our permanent count and up our count of permanents that create tokens specifically for our Caretaker's talent. Otherwise, pretty stock. One Torpor Orb in the main, doing the sort of Authority of the Consuls split up removal package. This is actually kind of nice too with people testing out the runner-up in the recent Pro Tour event. The Teamer Harmonizer list has sort of this hasty combo finish, so 4 main deck authority shuts that down pretty well. Couple phenomena recorders, a variety of like enchantment-based removal to not only support our United Battlefronts but our phenomena recorders as well. 24 lands. A big reason to be in mono white, we get to run the full gamut of utility lands for Abandoned Air Temple, for Demolition Field, and for Fountain Port. 10 planes. Sideboard is a little spicy. We got, 3 Rest in Peace, because there's a lot of graveyard stuff running around. A couple extra Seam Rips, couple Get Lost when we need instant speed removal specifically. And then Doorkeeper Thrall, I think, we have that one Torpor Orb in the main, and I'd probably run more Torpor Orbs over the Thralls if I could, but there's an argument for running the Thrall. I simply don't own them. The extra Torpor Orbs on Arena, and it's a little loose, so I figured I'd try the Thralls here today. The kind of nice thing about it too is like in this strategy, people are going to bring in artifact and enchantment removal anyway, so like bringing in a creature from your sideboard should net use some points as they take out their like shock effects and whatnot. For Voice of Victory, trying out a Buster Sword as a way to boost our grind against like control lists. They'll cut a lot of their targeted removal. We bring in Buster Sword and make our 1/1 rabbits into pretty real threats. And a single High Noon. That'll do it. Let's see if Ajani's worth his salt. I mean, if there's a list for him, I think it's something like this. Being on the 4 main deck authority of the consoles makes his -2 a lot better. Pairs very nicely with the Caretaker's talent, and his -8 becomes a very real threat when paired with this United Battlefront idea. We're already built around having a lot of cheap non-land permanents for him to hit, so let's give it a spin. All right, match number 1 on the play. Mono White Battlefront with some spice with the most helpful Weaver. We'll see if it does anything. I'm kind of curious. It's a 2/1 for 2 that threatens to get bigger. I guess the way I see it is there's a lot of like decks in the meta right now that are reacting to the Badgermole Cub meta, and so having a little more proactivity I think is kind of nice. Intimidation tactics, they can take a Clay-Fired Bricks or a Carrot Cake. Not a huge deal. Go for our most helpful Weaver. We could go for a Carrot Cake to scry and try to hit a land, but getting these online early, they produce pretty big threats eventually. Uninterrupted, we get to swing with a 3-power double striking Spider eventually. They take my second one. They are scared. Yeah, go ahead and swing in. Just play a Carrot Cake here. Could just hold up the Fountain Port / Demolition Field. We won't be greedy. Let's take our 4th land here. Need 4 lands to do a lot of things, namely cast the United Battlefronts, but also like doubling up a lot of effects with the Peter Parker's Camera requires 4 lands. Give this double strike. I'm gonna assume they're just gonna chump the Spider here. Go ahead and swing in. They trade with my 1/1. They'd rather take 6. That's a little weird. Just gonna pass here. We get to hold up Aang's Iceberg at instant speed, or make a token, or sacrifice the Spider if they try to remove it. Curious to see what my opponent's up to. I'm assuming this is like an Unholy Annex list with the Mutable Explorers. But outside of that, there's a Ritual Chamber. Well, we can Seam Rip that. Demon. Not particularly scary for us. Probably just best to make a fish here. Most efficient use of our mana. There's a United Battlefront. We could just send it. It's a little risky. I think I'd rather just go for the Seam Rip now, and then if they level up their Unholy Annex, I can Iceberg it, keeping them off of the life gain. They can like activate Mutavault to get a demon on the field, etc., etc. Let's set a stop before their end step here, just in case that's what they decide to do. They level it up. They can activate the Mutavault with the ability on the stack, so this is a bit premature for them. Go ahead and fire up the Iceberg here. They shoot the Sheriff on my Spider. Not a big deal. Eat up the Unholy Annex, keep them off of the life gain and the card advantage, and then we get to untap and fire off this Battlefront. We'll see if it's any good. Ooh, Caretaker's Talent. Okay, well, we'll take the Caretaker's Talent and Authority. Nothing to remove. Not so bad. Authority is actually a pretty decent hit, allowing us to continually swing in. They're at 6, which is pretty low. They could Earthbend or block with Mutavaults. So that plays around the Authority a little bit, but kind of seems like they don't have much else going on. They're just swinging in. They are not scared. Okay. Well, we'll be killing them over the course of some turns here. Threatening to kill them next turn specifically. I could just fully level up the Caretaker's Talent here and hit them for 3, down to 3, which is pretty good. I think I'd rather just hold up the Iceberg and make a fish on their turn. Going a little wider, drawing an extra card. Bossing Say. I mean, all of this is pretty irrelevant. And yet they continue to swing. No blocks. Do they not realize they're dead? I kind of feel like they don't realize they're dead. Or at least they're, I don't know. They're throwing a little tantrum, maybe? Because they have all lands in their hand. Fire up the Fountain Port. Do the thing. Kill you. Maybe they forgot that this was an option. All right. Golgari, Unholy Annex. Probably just want to get lost. Buster Sword is kind of an interesting option too. Generally, they might cut some instant speed removal. Let's try it out. I'm a little curious about it. Torpor Orb shuts down the Explorers, but probably not much else that they're doing. Let's go ahead. Let's cut the Torpor Orb here. I think a couple Seam Rips are still fine. Just being able to like kill the demons for very, very cheap. Let's cut a Clayfired Bricks on the draw. And we can probably go down a split up. Generally, it won't be super, super crazy in this matchup, I think. Try it like that. All right. Match 1, game 2 on the draw. Decent hand here. I mean, triple Caretaker's Talent really sets us up for a long game here. See if they have any disruption for us. Mazemind Tome. Are they trying to do like Ugin stuff? Anytime you see Mazemind Tome, it's either Ketchermos or Ugin. I gotta guess it's Ugin stuff, and they're like just using the Mutable Explorers as this combination ramp piece and enabler for. Well, we'll take another Plains with this hand. Enabler for the Unholy Annexes. I don't know. Seems a little loose to me. Seems very slow. Well, let's just jam our talent here. I could Seam Rip the Mazemind Tome, but I think this is okay. No trades. We'll hold on to this rabbit so that we can play a second Caretaker's Talent next turn and level 1 up. Draw a couple cards, get the engine going. Heritage Wreck. Okay, pretty good answer. Draws a card on the Maze Mind Tome. Restless Cottage. Ugin's still pretty far away. Let's just go for the Caretaker's Talent, level it up, plan. Yeah, it seems fine to me. Probably get to swing in also. Actually, since they're pretty willing to trade, maybe it makes more sense to just wait until I have an Anthem to start swinging. Long term, my tokens are a little more valuable, probably. They go for the Scry, gain some life. Interesting. Furdock Core. It is a changeling. It is a demon they control. Okay, that's a pretty cool tech piece for this combination. Makes sense with the Ugin build. All right, that seems like a pretty good 5 through 8 sort of through line piece. Interesting. Well, we don't really need to deal with. We can get lost Ugin on my next turn, so let's just do the more proactive thing here. Go for another Caretaker's Talent. And I guess we just play the most helpful Weaver here. Gives me a better token to copy next turn. Still draws us some cards. Starts getting the Saga going. No attacks here. They might have a hard time dealing with this board. Furdock Core, Part 2. They do be controlling demons. Okay, I mean, I'm starting to like this. This is pretty cool. The Furdock Core tech. Makes sense to me. Big drains. Split up. Go for a counter on the spider so we can start swinging with it. Let's go ahead and try to copy this spider. See if we hit our land drops here. Probably just planning to... I'd like to get lost, like an Unholy Annex. I don't know. Probably just need to hold up Get Lost. Hold up the Carrot Cake activation for extra draws. Okay, Aang's Iceberg is a good hit. Aang's Iceberg is a pretty good hit. I don't think I want to commit to just like going in with an Anthem effect quite yet. I'm not sure that these authorities do anything in retrospect. Probably should have cut these during sideboarding. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass here. Discard an authority. Play into like Get Lost, perhaps an Ugin or an Unholy Annex, and then sacrifice this Carrot Cake. They could be doing like Luis things, aka Morlin. Deadly Cover Up, fine. Mutable Explorer, fine. Well, let's just go ahead and take them off of one of these annexes. Slow down the drain. Slow down their card advantage engine. Yeah, we'll take a plains. We will take a plains. All right, Ajani. I think it's your turn, buddy. See if they can do anything about you. Seems like a good window. Carrot Cake. Give my rabbit double strike. Not sure how good the most helpful Weaver is, but in matchups where my opponent is not particularly creature heavy, it just gives them a thing they kind of have to think about early game. Opening up perhaps like, say they like sear my 2/1 spider, and then that sort of opens up the door for Ajani to perhaps do anything. Let's go for Ajani. Draw some cards. I mean, we are certainly drawing cards. I think it's kind of impossible to deny that. Let's just plan to pass here and hold up this Aang's Iceberg. Swing in for 2. I think I want I'm going to get rid of the split up and maybe second abandoned air temple. I'm pretty likely to draw another land over the course of the next couple turns. Rather, I'm pretty likely to draw a land next turn. And I already have one temple. It's not super likely that I'm encroaching, activating both anytime soon. Urgent Necropsy. Okay. Kill some stuff. Fair enough. Where's the Ugin, buddy? The people want Ugin. Eugene. Pretty good Urgent Necropsy, though. Let's just go ahead and Iceberg this Unholy Annex. Deny them all the resources. Another abandoned air temple. Okay. Let's jam this United Battlefront. Actually, maybe it makes more sense to go for the carrot cake. Nah, let's jam. We're jamming. See if we have good hits. Reset our Ajani, perhaps. Opponent has a response. They're thinking about maybe killing my Caretaker's talent. Outrageous robbery for 5. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good in this position. Clay-fired bricks, authority. I mean, we could go double authority. Double authority is interesting because they're not unlikely to like hit some of my tokens cards. So I might be able to like accumulate some life over the course of them playing out what they just took from me, and put myself out of like Luis range, perhaps. Swing in for 1 here. Pass it back to you. Very grindy game. They can also fire these up, which is kind of interesting late game. Phenomena Recorder. 4 mana for a 4/4. That survives their board wipes. Costs a lot of mana, but yeah, I don't know. It's all pretty interesting. Okay, so they can do the Iceberg thing. That's fun. Probably hitting my Iceberg and my Caretaker's talent. Okay. Well, I'm going to let them do this. I could respond by sacrificing my Iceberg, but I can just Iceberg my Iceberg back, which will eventually, like, if they deal with that, will unleash another of my Icebergs. It basically all works out kind of okay for me. Authority. Okay, pretty good for them. It's definitely gonna draw this game out. Most helpful Weaver. Let's go ahead and actually just lead on this Iceberg plan. So that way when I Battlefront, if I hit any like token-based cards, I get a little draw action. They could respond here by sacrificing the Iceberg. It's probably smart of them to do that. But at least I'm forcing the issue here. Okay. I should also actually think about seam ripping this Phenomena Recorder, huh? It probably makes sense to do that rather than jam the United Battlefront. Because if they start doubling, like, Ugin Exile triggers, it's a little problematic for me. And while I'm at it, I might as well seam rip the Authority of the Consuls. Because that life might add up for them. in the long game here. Go for our Weaver. Draw a card. I'm starting to build a bit of a board. Kind of curious to know what their last few cards are. And they are eventually threatening to, like, fire up Soulstone Sanctuary, a couple cores, and swing for a pretty decent chunk. Restless Cottage. Swinging in. Yeah, I think I just take that. I wouldn't mind drawing into, like, Demolition Field plus Peter Parker's camera to clean up some of these, oh, well, there's Demolition Field. To clean up some of these utility lands that they have, or at least, like, threaten to. So we'll play a Demolition Field. Let's go for the United Battlefront here. Grabbing a Ajani. Do we want this Aang's Iceberg? I think I'm just going to go for another Most Helpful Weaver. Continue to build the board up here. Roll up a Ajani. Bitter Triumph on a Ajani. Okay. They're down to not too many cards here, though. Let's go ahead and copy a Spider. Using this a little proactively to produce a wider board. And then probably wise to not swing. Probably wise to not swing. We can just hold up this Demolition Field activation. Activate Fountain Port. Nice. Pass it back to ya. They have a lot of, like, utility stuff that they have, like, a weirdly big board right now. You know what I'm saying? Were they to invest mana, they could, like, present a pretty strong attack. They can't because I have a board now as well, but were they to, like, wipe the board and then next turn I'd have to, like, scramble to reproduce a board just to be able to survive. But they make a fish, which is kind of good for me. I net a couple life. They duress away my second Caretaker's Talent. I think that's okay. Do I proactively fire off the Demolition Field? Probably not. Another United Battlefront. Well, I've definitely got to level up this Caretaker's Talent here. Give this Spider double strike. Give this Spider a counter. Oh, I forgot. This is the weirdest thing. Okay. If you ever have two Most Helpful Weavers on the field, I don't think this would come up that often, and, like, you might not realize this in paper, basically. But when you do the second chapter of this saga, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, it becomes a legendary spider hero for some reason. So if you have two of these spiders, you want to put the counter on the same one, basically, because I have just legendaried spider. So I have to sacrifice one of them. It's crazy stuff. Doesn't really make sense to me that that's on the card, but here we are. I mean, I get it, but it doesn't feel like a magic mechanic choice. It feels like a we're just trying to be cute and flavorful kind of choice. Level up the Caretaker's Talent. Swing in for a pretty decent chunk here. I'm not going to go all the way because they do, like I said, have a bit of a board to work with. Okay, well, they can fire up the Furdot Core and block my 3/3 rabbit. That's fine. I think I'm going to go for the Carrot Cake here over the United Battlefront to be able to draw a couple cards over the course of these turns. Gain a little life as well. Draw a couple cards, gain a little life, get down tonight. We'll keep another Carrot Cake. That's fine. A classic combination. And I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, they have some bombs for sure. But at this point, like, Ugin exiles a Caretaker's Talent, which is good, but now I have enough mana to, like, just do Abandoned Air Temple stuff. They may have a card that, like, destroys all artifacts and enchantments, which would be interesting. But it would reset. I mean, it would, like, open up these seam rips and give me a Recorder and an Authority back. It's probably still pretty good for them to do it, though. It'd kill off their Fur.Dot cores. I'm thinking Cease Desist. Ancient Vendetta. Okay. Why? What are you naming? Elspeth? Okay. I mean, it's not the worst choice. I just don't have any in my 75, buddy. Sorry. Didn't you look through my list? Like, oh, no. You cast a Deadly Cover-Up, but you didn't collect evidence. Well, I don't know. Take a look. No Elspeth here. You probably play it for sure. I'm just trying the new cool Planeswalker. Ajani Outland Chaperone, who everyone is excited about. Make a Wabbit. Phenomena Recorder. I'm sure we could do some stuff with that. Cheaply double up our Abandoned Air Temple ability. Planes, decent draw. Give double strike to this guy, I suppose. I don't know. It doesn't super matter. They're just going to chump it anyway. Go for a Recorder. Start swinging in with stuff, I think, right? With the double Abandoned Air Temple activation, this is a pretty serious swing. They could have, like, instant speed destroy my Caretaker's Talent, which would be sad. We'll see. Firing up the Mutavaults. Fur.Dot core. Let's let them move into blockers here, and then we'll have to count what they have for the backswing. Because I could just be a little more conservative, activate the Abandoned Air Temple once, and that's kind of enough. So they have, in the backswing, I'm killing these 2 Mutavaults. I'm killing this Fur.Dot core. They can spend 4 mana right now to fire up a Soulstone Sanctuary, plus 4 for Fur.Dot core, plus Restless Cottage attack, which is just 11. So I think I'm doing okay. Let's go ahead and I think let's go for the conservative play of just firing this off once. They sacrifice their fish, that's fine. We'll trade with their Fur.Dot core, give up a rabbit here, no problem. And then be able to sacrifice this Carrot Cake on their turn. Hold up Demolition Field. Yeah, we're sitting pretty. Even if they have an Ugin at this point, like, my board is still pretty menacing. They'd have to have some crazy, like, outrageous robbery into... I don't have split ups left in my deck, right? One there. Did I think I boarded all but one out, maybe? I could be misremembering. Tapped Underground Mortuary. I don't know. I don't think there's anything they can do. Pretty good first match for us here. Scoop it up. Okay. Nice. 1-0. Let's move into the next one. Match 2 on the play against Chavez Elite. I feel like I run into them all the time on the ladder here. Gonna keep this. We'll fire off the Carrot Cake turn 2, and hopefully we can hit our 3rd land drop. Generally, with this setup, since we have pretty good payoffs already, it's probably better to get rid of the United Battlefront over the split up. Keep the split up in case it's particularly relevant. Planes and pass. Okay, Chavez Elite. Can you beat my rabbits? Torpor Orb. Pass on that. Can you defeat my wabbits? Swing in for 1. The pain commences. Carrot cake. There's a plains. Take it. Play plains. Start swinging in. Do you go for an Ajani here? Sure, why not? Sure, why not? They could counter it, but if they don't, we're sitting pretty for some action. We have another one, as well as this Caretaker's Talent. Demolition Field. Okay, and they have one for my Abandoned Air Temple. Just go ahead and swing in here. If they want to fire up their Restless Anchorage and block, that's fine. Aang, Swift Savior. It is swift indeed. Kills my rabbits. 1-for-1 trade. It's probably generally a little more important to just get the Caretaker's Talent on the field right now, as far as long-term advantages are concerned. Curious to see this Aang Swift Savior in this Jeskai list, though. Cast a stock up. Cool art. They may have drawn into a Get Lost for my talent. Okay. Cool. Most Helpful Weaver, little reach guy. So if I play Ajani, they can just like double swing at it with Restless Anchorage. I could like play Ajani and kill Aang, and then they have to like spend their turn firing up the Restless Anchorage to kill Ajani, or I could just go Helpful Weaver. I think I'm gonna go Ajani. No, I'm gonna go for the Helpful Weaver. I've decided. Double maps. Skip on a carrot cake here. I think I just want to hit a land. There's a land. Play a land. Pass it back to you. Legend of Karuk. Cool. That might be a bit of a problem for us. We do have this split up. So on the turn that they start to go off with it, we can like kill the Karuk and all of the spirits they make. Okay, we're now in a position where we can play the Ajani, kill the Aang, and hold up Demolition Field for the Restless Anchorage. So that's pretty good. I don't know that I can beat the Legend of Karuk long term. I mean, I can kill it on the turn that it flips, but the fact that it's also drawing a couple cards here, pretty tough. Get Lost on my Ajani. Okay. Pretty okay with that. Stock up. Yeah. I think I might just take the second to Demolition Field, the Quarry Mountain Monastery. Although they're super tapped out right now. Yeah. Just gotta pass it back. Authority of the Consuls. Triggering. Stock up. Infinity cards. Interesting list. A little more mid-rangey style than the Jeskai Revelation shells. I think I just have to go for a Demolition Field here. Long term, this Quarry Mountain Monastery is going to become a problem, I think. It gives him a little more mana for next turn, but makes use of my mana now. Yeah, I think that's fine. Phenomena Recorder. Let's go for a split up. Pass it back to you. Tuck in for another long, grindy game. They're way up on cards, though. I will admit. Looking forward to our Voice of Victories from the sideboard. Phenomena Recorder, not the worst draw with this Demolition Field plan. Fires up the Restless Anchorage, swinging in. They say, I don't care what you do next turn. Just gonna start hitting you. Okay. Aang's Iceberg. Not a terrible draw. I don't think there's much of a reason to Aang's Iceberg the Karuk right now when we have this split up plan. Let's hold on to this for a bigger threat. Fire up the Anchorage. See if they fire up the second one. They fire up the second one. Alright, let's move into combat. I guess I'll just go for this. Force some action. I don't know if they're like trying to bait me into this, but... And they have another Quarry Mountain Monastery that they want to resolve. And by resolve, I mean just play. But I'm not giving up. They have a lot of cards, but... Could just be like 3 Lightning Helixes. I don't know. Play Plains. Pass it to you. Could be a million lands in their hand, although they've been scrying. So probably not. Could be a million lands on the bottom of their library, which they will eventually draw into. Surely they're going to start firing off some spells here, though. Ashling Rekindled. What is my opponent up to? Just like using Ashling to play Beza? They have like 4 Bezas in hand. There's a Fountain Port. That's a pretty good draw. I guess I go for the split up here. Makes a little more sense to me over the Aang's Iceberg. I can play a Fountain Port. Cycle it. Sacrifice a map here. Sacrifice a map. Let's go ahead and copy this ability. Draw a couple cards here. Try to fight our way back into the card advantage game. Plains. Clay-fired bricks. Okay, not an awful draw. Has a big mana mode for us. 1 plains left in the deck. And we have an artifact to craft with. Shiko, Paragon of the Way. Casting, stock up. Classic. Another going for Aang. They just want something on the field to fight me with. What's the deal with the Ashling? Oh, airbending Shiko. Okay, that's sweet. That's really cool. Well, we drew our last plains. That's a little unfortunate. I guess we just go for the clay-fired bricks plan. Spell snare. Okay. I mean, that's fine. That is fine. Pass it back to you. Hold up this Aang's Iceberg Phenomena Recorder. Play. They might go to flip Angenlaw. Sure. I guess I'll just try to kill it. I could copy this this trigger here. Exile my Phenomenon Recorder as well. I think that probably makes sense. Gives me something to, I don't know. At the very least, gives me, like, the chance to maybe... Oh, wait. Oh, right, because it was a token. Okay, then it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense. It was a token off of Shiko. So that's permanently exiled, and I can reset my Phenomenon Recorder. Yeah, okay. Sweet move, Eric. Way to think ahead. Stumbling into good play. All right. That should be the name of this channel. Sacrifice the Eggs Iceberg. Get a little scry in, reset our guy. Yeah, we'll take a Fountain Port. Long term, definitely a way we scrap back into this. Start drawing some cards. See if we can hit a United Battlefront here while they're tapped out. Split up. Oh, might as well fire that off. Second Authority. Legend of Karuk. And we are down to one split up left. Ashling Rekindled. Still not seeing the vision on this one. It's got to be some amount of Beza in their deck is kind of the only thing I can think of. Skipping out on a Pyroclasm. Fair enough, man. Play a Demolition Field here. Pass. Plan to make a couple rabbits, I guess. Or fish, I mean. Another Aang. Nothing to exile. Gain a couple life on our end. Helix my face. So it begins. But I have enough mana to, like, make two rabbits, or sorry, make two fish and activate Abandoned Air Temple to double block this Ashling. Even if they go, like, Aang and Law mode. Naya, Sky Sail, Storyteller. Pairs nicely with Shiko. You can cast it from the graveyard and bring it back as the 5-cost side. Seam Rip. On my Phenomena Recorder, I guess. Okay. Well, let's make two fish. It's what we got. It's what we got. Go for a double block here. Fire up the Air Temple. It's what we got. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing they saw this line, but maybe they just want to... They helix a fish. I'm not sure that totally makes sense long term. Torpor Orb. Hey, actually, kind of good in this matchup. I skipped on it early because I thought it was like the more traditional build, but pretty good here. I don't know. See if they have anything for it. Okay. What's our grand plan? Just hold back blocks. Maybe have to eventually sack the fish. I might as well play the plains, but there's also the angle of concealing some information. Day of Judgment. They only have 15 cards left in their deck. They flip Avatar Karuk. I gain a couple life. Now when they cast spells, I'm going to gain 2 life every time. Transform Aang. Okay. I think I have to think about sacrificing this fish. Hopefully draw into something relevant. My last split up or something. Can they do this at... No, transform only as sorcery. So I think it makes sense to... Does it make sense to just trade with this, actually? I could make another fish. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's make another fish. Activate the Abandoned Air Temple, and then try to trade with the Naya here. Nia. Block like this, and then block the Ashling. I think that's okay. Aang's Iceberg. Probably makes sense to just deal with the Aang and La. Play a plains. I'm just going to deal with the Aang and La here. Long-term Karuk is pretty annoying, but anytime they cast a spell with Karuk on the field, I'm gaining quite a lot of life. Not irrelevant. Attacking them, pretty irrelevant right now. Aang. Okay, Torpor Orb shuts off my authority of the consoles. Good to remember. It shuts off the life gain part. So that is a little unfortunate. That was part of my calc a little bit. So it's kind of like split up or bust maybe at this point, and only having one left in the deck is a little not ideal. Swinging in. I think maybe I just chump and sack here. It's kind of all I got. Most helpful Weaver. I can also give up this Aang's Iceberg, try to draw into like Scry Deeper. Skip on this stuff. Back to me. United Battlefront. That could get us closer to a split up with some like draws perhaps. No draws. Another Aang's Iceberg. Yeah, just got to deal with the Aang and La. The trample is the real problem here, right? Tapped my Fountain Port on accident. That might come back and bite me. In response to them transforming their Aang and La, I can sacrifice my Aang's Iceberg again to force a legend rule. Basically, it's just free scries. It's what I got. Well, there's the split up. I mean, if there's a chance we win this, it's off the back of the split up. But at this point, big 6/6 trampler swinging in with the other stuff. It's just not enough. All right, what a grind. What a grind. Ooh. Let's move into game 2. What a grind. What do we want here? Rest in peace, probably over the I think we do want the Torpor Orb. We can go down to maybe the first Authority of the Consuls here. Definitely want Voice of Victories. Definitely want High Noon. Go down on the Seam Rips. Buster Sword. Let's try that out. Try out that bad boy. And then... and maybe we only need like 2 Rest in Peace. 1 Rest in Peace. Three Split Ups. And... High Noon is a little scary into their like counter magic stuff. Their Angs. I don't know. Maybe this isn't really a High Noon matchup. Just try it like that. On the play. Okay. I mean, Voice of Victory pretty good. See if they have a Spell Snare. Voice of Victory, pretty good. I'm going to guess that they're anticipating Voice of Victory. Maybe left in some amount of Lightning Helix. I mean, maybe you just leave in all the Lightning Helix anyway. No matter the matchup. Most Helpful Weaver. There's a Voice of Victory of their own. It really doesn't do a whole lot against me, to be honest with you. Phenomena Recorder. Helpful Weaver. Get that online. Swing it on in. Shocks themselves. Yeah, still not really seeing the vision here. Discards a negate. Not sure why they shocked themselves. United Battlefront. Scoop it up. Okay. Chavez Elite, also a fan of brevity and pace. Let's move it into game 3. Do we want the Get Losts on the draw? Nah, try it like that. Okay. Decent hand. Lands and spells. Voice of Victory pretty key here. A lot of utility lands. I mean, double Fountain Port for the long game is pretty nice. See if they take the bait here of this Carrot Cake. I guess they probably, you know, they could have Spell Snare. Oh, no, they couldn't. They could just have, like, Lightning Helix. I probably should have gone for the Voice of Victory there. That's all right. Play a Fountain Port. Start swinging with the rabbits. I think I just pass here. Hold up the activation or sacrifice the Carrot Cake. Legend of Karuk. So we're a go for the Voice of Victory next turn. They may have kept like a Day of Judgment on top. Maybe it makes sense to like just sacrifice the rabbit this turn. Grease the wheels a little bit. It's kind of an interesting idea. I think I'm going to do that. Gives up a little bit of board, but makes me a little less soft to a future Day of Judgment. Go for the Voice of Victory. United Battlefront's a good draw. Let's go for the Most Helpful Weaver now. And then if they do Day of Judgment, I still, I can probably go for a United Battlefront. Lightning Helix. Representing Negate. Not ideal for me. Swing it for 3. I think I'm going to go for a Clay-Fired Bricks first here. Suss out. Okay, maybe they don't have anything. Grab a Plains. Play our Plains. And I think I'm just going to continue to hold up this Carrot Cake Sacrifice / Fountain Port if I need to. Karuk on the field. I still have 3 split ups in my deck. Seam rip. Alright, I'll draw a card. Grind it out. Plains. I guess I go for Carrot Cake here, and then I can double Carrot Cake sack and set up into this, like, Clay-Fired Bricks flip. Try to scry into... Well, I'm not going to pass on a Voice of Victory here. I was going to say try to scry into a... Well, maybe I should just jam a United Battlefront then. Because if I'm going to draw into this, the scries from the Carrot Cake get a little wasted. We're just going to jam this. I think they're going to counter it, and that's okay. Sets up my United Battlefront in the airbend zone. They're in a decent position to just jam, flip the Aang-in-Law, and they go for it. Okay. Block with a rabbit here. We could double United Battlefront this turn. I'm going to start with single United Battlefront. Buster Sword, okay. I think I take the Buster Sword. Why not? Let's try it. We didn't come here to not Buster Sword, people. Grab the Aang-in-Law. If I put the Buster Sword on my Voice of Victory, can they kill it, you think? I mean, they have seam rips, but broadly speaking, it's kind of an interesting idea. Voice of Victory of their own. Okay. Get lost on the Aang's iceberg to be able to airbend my Voice of Victory? Yeah, fair enough. I tried to get cute with it. I probably should have just fired off a second United Battlefront. Phenomena Recorder. Yeah, lead on the Voice of Victory here. Go for another Battlefront. We have a little life gain off of these Carrot Cakes. Aang's Iceberg, Aang's Iceberg. Pretty good for us. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good for us. Torpor Orb is also another option, but I think we do this. A lot of spirits coming through, though. I'm not sure that I can still survive this. I think I needed to draw a split up over the course of some turns. They can fire up the Restless Anchorage. I can gain a little bit of life, but I think their Alpha Strike is just too powerful. Get lost on Aang's Iceberg. Well, I might as well scry. Skip on these. It's split up or bust. I mean, like I said, they're just going to kill me here, but maybe they don't. I think they're going to. Stock up. All right, I will respect you. I respect you, Chavez Elite. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. 1-1. 1-1. Some grindy ass games. I think I can only stand maybe one more match. Not that I don't think the deck is bad by any stretch, but like when you're running a grindy deck and you run into other control decks, it's why I tend to like aggro for climbing on the ladder. The matches just take so long, which is fine for me 100% in paper Magic, because everyone is on the same match clock anyway, so like you have to wait anyway. But when it's just like my solo experience, I think I'd rather just have slightly faster paced matches generally. All right, match 3 on the play. Gonna keep this pretty solid. Slow, proactive plan, but having the split up helps in case our opponent is just like going all in on the board. Haven't seen a whole lot of Badgermole Cub on the ladder lately, which is interesting. I guess all the other decks kind of mess that deck up, which is nice. All right, Thundering Falls. Pack it in, gang. One more long one. It could just be like the Is It Elementals list, though. Nope. Not on this channel. Not on this channel. Jam. Resolves. All right, sweet. We jam. Cast your little stock up. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I freaking thought, dude. That's what I freaking thought, dude. All right, if we can get a quick first game win here, I'm going to be feeling pretty good. Cast the Ajani or cast the Battlefront. It's got to be cast the Battlefront because it could be Ajani. Well, I'm going to go for another Caretaker's Talent plus Helpful Weaver to draw here. Actually, Carry Cake is probably just a little better, being able to draw on their turn as well. Skip on a land. We're doing the thing. Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb. Pass it back to me. Yeah, might as well just play up planes here. Might as well try to cast a Carrot Cake, I suppose. The Carrot Cake is good. Clay-fired bricks, we'll pass on that. I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to take it for a future Anthem, but like, Abandoned Air Temple is just enough. Authority of the Consuls is not a bad draw here. Swinging for 1. Is my opponent doing the Aang thing? I'm feeling like this is probably more so the traditional Jeskai list. Go for an Authority. Pretty good at shutting down their like flash creatures and what have you. Kick to consult the star charts. Lightning Helix, a rabbit? No. You're going to hell for that one. Meticulous Archive. How meticulous? Anyone want to explain to me how this is an Island Plains? Sacrifice a Carrot Cake. Skip out of planes. Draw some cards. Gain some life. Feeling pretty good here. More Ajanis. Okay. Well, we can probably go double Ajani next turn. If we stick one, it's going to be pretty good against them, I think. Jam. What say ye? They decide to let it resolve. All right, Ajani, and my beautiful little Kithkin army. With your weird-ass boar-riding, fish-carrying art that I don't particularly understand, but do like. There's the kick. Consult the star charts. I think I have to take next turn. Use next turn to start threatening, like, leveling up these Caretaker's talents. Because they are approaching... just... like this, maybe? They are approaching... Jeskai Revelation mana. Ultima. Alright. We'll draw our cards. Draw our cards, gain some life. Ultima, not that good against us, to be honest, though. Lots of enchantments in play. Phenomena Recorder. Ajani ticking up. Another authority. Actually, probably kind of relevant. Let's go second authority. I guess we should probably draw our card first with Ajani here. Another Ajani. Get a recorder on the field. Maybe make a couple spiders here. Make a few spiders here. I mean, we have enough cards. I might as well just like start presenting scary boards. They missed a land drop. Could be our moment next turn. Force them to make some suboptimal plays. Rest in peace, okay. That's nice. Legendary Spider Hero, go! Try to make a copy of my spider. Draw some cards. United Battlefront. Kind of thought about including some Lumen class frigates in this build as another like Anthem to United Battlefront into. Thought that was kind of an interesting idea. Swang in. They're at 4. Pretty good for us. Make a Kithkin. I might as well just pass here. Hold up this Aang's Iceberg, I suppose. Outside of them having a board wipe, there's not a whole lot they can do. Discard this Torpor Orb. Discard third Ajani. I don't think third Ajani is necessary. Split ups could come up. Alright, well, we're in the Jeskai Revelation Zone. Not quite sure that they have... I don't think that's enough. I think it's pretty far away from being enough. I could probably just swing out and plan to fire up the Abandoned Air Temple here. But they probably can't deal with 2 Caretaker's Talent Anthems. Maybe a little bit of missequencing here. This should be okay. Yeah, you're dead, bucko. Resolve. Gain 4 life. Entering tapped. Maybe they didn't like calculate that as being the case. Kill ya? Sweet. All right. Game 1 down. Buster Sword. Voice of Victory. Go. I think Split Up is actually generally kind of better than Get Lost in this matchup, because sometimes you do just need to deal with their board. Also, like, not targeting is pretty relevant when they're on, like, the Unagi of Kyoshi Island. Go down to 2 authorities. Maybe keep one Seam Rip in case they have some cheeky art, like, hate pieces for us. Like Authority of the Consoles of their own would be okay. It's probably not that worth fighting over, though. Go down a Clay-Fired Bricks. Cut the Torpor Orb. Try it like that. Game 2, on the draw. Mulligan the opener. Okay, this is decent. This is decent. We'll keep double Fountain Port. Voice of Victory, a little slow. I mean, I guess that's the name of the game that we're playing. Caretaker's Talent's a good draw. I'm just going to go for a carrot cake here. No more lies. Okay. I'm just going to go for a voice here. See if they have a second No More Lies. Could fire off a Consult the Star Charts. Really, the most important thing is this Caretaker's Talent long term in combination with the Fountain Port. So them dealing with this voice is like really not the end of the world for us, especially if they use counter magic on it. So they decide to Get Lost the voice. Could still have a No More Lies here. I'm going to go for another voice. If this resolves, we get to start popping maps on it. There's the No More Lies. Okay, but see if they have an answer for this Caretaker's Talent. Stock up. Maybe we just start sacrificing maps in this juncture. Like, if they're firing off a stock up, they could have Negate, they could have No More Lies. And if I just, like, start sacrificing maps to the Fountain Port, I can contest their card advantage gain. Well, okay. Another Caretaker's Talent maybe changes that a little bit. Jam. Copy a map, or try to. They might get lost my talent here. Nope. Draw a card. Battlefront. So we know they don't have a No More Lies, and we know they don't have Negate in hand right now. Or as of last turn at least. Exercise. Fair enough. Could have a 3 steps ahead now. I think I want to see this Battlefront go through. Let's go for another talent. Resolves. Copy a map. There's the Get Lost. 2 cards left in hand. 1 land away from Revelation mana. Tapped land. I'm going to go for the Battlefront this turn. Stock up. It's pretty annoying. Clay-fired bricks. Okay, that's probably better than the Battlefront here. Grab a plains. They annul this? Okay. Fair enough. Meticulous Archive. Jam. I mean, if they bounce this back to my hand, it's a little annoying. Nope. There's Ajani. Gonna grab this Authority, I think, over the Phenomena Recorder. And then if they, like, play a new Nagi here, we're kind of chilling. I can block it forever. Unless they have, like, Lightning Helix as their last card. There's the Unagi, of Kyoshi Island, no less. Gain a life. What a beautiful guy. I like this card. Pretty good, pretty good. I might take some inspiration from, played against a Simic Flash list yesterday. They had this, like, desert sub-theme and we're on the Colossal Rattleworms, just playing, like, really efficient Flash creatures and counter magic. It was pretty cool. I'm gonna go for the United Battlefront here. Kind of seemed like they didn't have anything for it last time. There's a No More Lies off the top. Alright, well, we will chill in this position for a little while, hopefully. The interesting, like, tension between Get Lost being the best removal piece for this deck and Kyoshi Island being a pretty good finisher means that often your opponent just has maps to use to pay for the, like, the Waterbend ward. I guess I'm just gonna try to kill it. Could go for this at instant speed, but I just want to see if this happens. See what my opponent's top decks are like. Pay with the maps. Crack a map over this recorder, I suppose. Try to hit our land drops. Still, we've been stuck on 4 for a long time. Make another guy. Swinging for 2. No reason not to. Authority of the Consuls on the field. They could have another Unagi here. Looks like they have like a lightning helix. Jeskai. Oh, they do have a Jeskai revelation. Okay. Not ideal. Not ideal. So they can kill off my Ajani. Boy, being stuck on this, like, land count for this long is pretty annoying. Let's lead on a map here, see if they let me do this. Land. Great. Go for a split up. Great. Might as well go for another map here. See if they'll let me. Another Ajani. Sure, we'll take it. Swinging for 3. No need to worry about the Unagi. Blocking my 3/3. There's the Unagi. Gain a life. Land. 1 card left in hand. Swinging in. Draw. I think I go map. Start with map here. Most helpful weaver. We'll skip on that. I think I'm just going to split up this Unagi. Go for another map. Try to draw a card. Okay. Skip out on... I just want lands. I just want lands. Is that too much to ask for? Destroy your Unagi. Swinging with a 5/5. Pretty big number for my opponent's deck to have to deal with. Big 5/5 Kithkin. Day of Judgment. Fair. Fountain Port. There we go. So now we can sneak this through possible No More Lies. Although they've already spent 3. Phenomena Recorder. Oh, I goofed. If they have a Lightning Helix, they're just going to Helix my Ajani. Oh, why did I do that? That was silly. Alright, I'll just pass here. Plan to double up this Most Helpful Weaver ETB. Resolving this Consult. Resolved the Consult. River Churn Monument. Okay. That's pretty good. We do have an Iceberg. Demolition Field. Just gonna go for the double up Weaver plan. Plan to Iceberg this River Churn Monument. The grindiest matches you've ever seen in your life. I guess at this point... Sorry, I had to sneeze. They milled me. Yeah, at this point, they might as well exhaust the River Churn Monument. Give themselves the out of, like, get losting this Iceberg and then exhausting it again. Yeah? Okay. Jeskai Revelation. Bounce the River Churn. Super mill me. Okay. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. They top decked into the win. It is what it is. Weird game. On the play for game number 3 here. All right, decent hand. I like the United Battlefront. I like the Voice of Victory, obviously. It'd be nice if I had like a follow-up turn 3, like a Caretaker's Talent to go along with this Voice of Victory, but United Battlefront ain't bad. Carrot Cake. Jam. See what you got, Stone. Pass. Huge for us. Go for our little carrot cake move. Maybe I should have gone for like a fountain port, just sack a mobilized token. We'll skip on this plains. That may have been a little better. Swing in for 3. See if I get to resolve this battlefront next turn. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Do this proactively in case we hit a Caretaker's Talent. Helpful Weaver, Aang's Iceberg. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ETB this Helpful Weaver and then just eat it with the Aang's Iceberg so that later I can like flash in this 2/1 Spider for pretty cheap. I mean, my opponent skipping on a land and then not hitting land drops, pretty sad for them. They need white anyway, but it might be too little too late here. Abandoned Air Temple Part 2. Yeah, I'm just gonna start swinging in with these guys here. Make use of my temple. Fire magic. Oh, okay. That's rough. Yeah, gonna buy them back some time here. It's been a little while since I've seen people play fire magic. Still, not much going on for them. I just pass. Plan to make a fish, plan to make a rabbit. And they're still stuck on lands. Well, we've been there before, surely. Tidebinder. Denies my fish. You can deny my fish, but you can never deny my rabbit. Might as well go for the Weaver here, actually. Do a little scry. We'll take another carrot cake. Counter here. Do I waste an Aang's Iceberg just to start swinging through? Probably not. Play another temple. 1, 2, 3. Because I'll be able to swing through with double strike next turn. I can go carrot cake. Make a bunch more guys. Hold up fountain port activation. We'll take a Voice of Victory, sure. Actually, do I just like draw into that now and play it? That's kind of interesting. No. I'll just extend the resources I have rather than throw away the rabbit. Could also just move to activate the Abandoned Air Temple right here. And then if they fire magic for 2, they kill off their Tidebinder, and I don't give up my carrot cakes in the process. I think that's probably better. You go like this. Go for a Voice of Victory here. See if they decide they want to deal with my spider. I wonder if they have Ultimas left in their deck, because they're kind of in a position for Ultima to be decent. Alright, well, swing in. That's fine. Yeah, we'll just let this happen like this. Get lost on the spider. Okay, I think I'm going to use a carrot cake here and start popping maps. Or maybe I use the maps to draw off the fountain port. So just like make a rabbit and then draw a card with a map. That's probably better. Taking a Ajani. Pretty decent here. Huge mana advantage on them still. Swing in for 1. I'm going to go for the Ajani here. Resolves, pretty big for us. Not going to make the same mistake twice. Level it up. Plan to just activate this Abandoned Air Temple on their turn, I think. Or we could do the same like Carrot Cake, Saka map play. I guess I should think about playing around Fire Magic. Well, not anymore. Let's go ahead and sack a Kithkin here. Ooh, Caretaker's Talent. Well, that should seal this up pretty nicely, I think. Dodge a split up. Second Ajani. Go for the Caretaker's Talent. Draw a card. I might as well like fully level up the Caretaker's Talent here. Seems like a pretty good window to do so. Coming in. All right, well, this was a fun build. I liked it. I liked having like another persistent token generator off of United Battlefront. You know, we were playing that like Windcrag Siege list before in Boros, but being able to like have that persistent token generator in mono white, where you get a lot more access to these utility lands, which really support this plan. All in all, pretty fun list, I thought. Let me know what you think. Not dead quite yet, but pretty good. Actually, sorry. Yeah, this is just lethal. All right, sweet. Pretty good run. 2-1 overall. Very, very grindy games today, but that's just what it is sometimes on the arena ladder. Let me know if you've tested with Ajani at all, what you think about your experiences with it. Pretty cheap card right now in general, floating around a few bucks. Good budget option, I think. Makes sense to me in tokens, and tokens continues to make a little more sense with this rise of mid-rangey, like, evoke elemental piles in the meta. Like, the grind that you are presenting with the token strategy, you're not as all-in compared to, like, you know, like the Simic Ouroboros lists, which these elemental decks seem to prey on. And you have a lot of tools in mono white, too, especially, like, a lot of hate pieces that are kind of relevant in the meta right now. Voice of Victory, I think, in general, Rest in Peace, and I think Doorkeeper Thrall actually continues to have a place. So yeah, pretty fun run. 2-1. Everything looked good outside of maybe like the split up Authority of the Console situation is starting to make a little less sense with like those go wide lists having less presence. But Authority in general is nice with Ajani, so for the purposes of trying to like maximize Ajani's relevance, I think it made sense including it in this list, but ultimately maybe you don't in like a final build. If you liked this video, I'll be posting standard content pretty much every day, sometimes Pioneer here and there, maybe other stuff eventually. Would appreciate it if you wanted to continue stopping by. But thanks for watching this one, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.